What if the most dangerous creature in the ocean wasn't the whale, but the man hunting it? Moby-Dick, published in 1851, is often described as a novel about a giant white whale. It is not. It is the story of a mind consumed by one idea and the cost of refusing to let it go. The novel begins with a simple introduction. Call me Ishmael. Ishmael is not the hero of this story. He is the observer. Restless and drawn toward the sea, whenever life on land feels empty, he signs onto a whaling ship called the Pequod. He expects work. He expects danger. He expects adventure. He does not expect to witness a captain lead his crew toward destruction in the name of revenge. Before the voyage begins, Ishmael meets Pequod, a tattooed harpooner from the South Pacific. At first, he is afraid. By morning, they are friends. Their unlikely bond becomes one of the quiet strengths of the novel. The crew of the Pequod is made up of men from around the world. Americans, Africans, Europeans, Pacific Islanders. Different languages, different religions, different backgrounds. On land, they might never share a table. At sea, they depend on one another. The ship becomes a floating world. A fragile brotherhood built around one purpose: whaling. But the true purpose of this voyage has not yet been revealed. For days after departure, the captain remains hidden. Then he appears. Captain Ahab is tall and severe, marked by a long scar and supported by a leg carved from whale bone. On a previous voyage, a massive white whale destroyed his ship and tore off his leg. That whale has a name: Moby-Dick. Ahab gathers the crew and nails a gold coin to the mast. Whoever sights the white whale first will earn it. Then he reveals the truth. This voyage is not about profit. It is about revenge. The crew hesitates. But Ahab is persuasive and commanding. Slowly, the commercial mission becomes personal. The Pequod sails not for oil, but for vengeance. As the ship crosses the ocean, Ishmael pauses the narrative to describe whales in extraordinary detail. He writes about their biology, their anatomy, their power. He blends science with philosophy. Why spend so much time on whales? Because the white whale becomes more than an animal. Its whiteness becomes symbolic. White can mean purity. White can mean holiness. But white can also mean emptiness, blankness, the absence of meaning. To Ahab, the whale represents evil. To Ishmael, the whale may simply represent nature. Vast, powerful, indifferent. The whale becomes a mirror. Each character sees in it what he fears most. Ahab is not wild or chaotic. He is focused, controlled, intelligent. He believes the whale hides some deeper truth behind the surface of the world. To strike the whale is to strike through the mask of existence itself. Starbuck, the cautious first mate, warns him. Revenge against an animal is madness. But Starbuck lacks Ahab's certainty, and certainty can overpower doubt. The crew follows their captain, not because they all believe him, but because he believes himself completely. Obsession spreads through the ship, and the ocean grows darker. Along the journey, the Pequod meets other ships. Some captains warn Ahab. Some have already encountered the white whale and barely survived. Each meeting feels like a warning. Still, Ahab pushes forward. A mysterious harpooner named Fadala predicts that Ahab will see 2 hearses on the sea and that hemp will bring about his death. Ahab interprets these words as destiny. But the novel leaves the question open. Is this fate? Or is it the natural consequence of reckless obsession? The line between prophecy and choice becomes harder to see. At last, the white whale appears. Massive, silent, almost mythic in its power. For 3 days, the Pequod chases Moby-Dick across violent seas. Harpoons strike, boats shatter, men are thrown into the water. The whale does not flee in panic. It moves with force and purpose. On the final day, Ahab throws his harpoon one last time. The rope wraps around him. The hemp line tightens. He is dragged into the ocean by the very creature he sought to destroy. The whale rams the Pequod. The ship sinks. The crew disappears beneath the waves. All are lost. All but one. Ishmael survives by clinging to Queequeg's coffin, which had earlier been carved and later repurposed as a life buoy. Death becomes the instrument of survival. Floating alone in the vast ocean, he is eventually rescued. He lives to tell the story. Why does Moby-Dick endure as one of the great American novels? Because it is not truly about a whale. It is about obsession. About humanity's desire to dominate nature. About the danger of mistaking personal anger for universal truth. Ahab cannot accept that the whale might simply be a whale. He must give it meaning. And in doing so, he destroys himself and everyone who follows him. Ishmael survives because he observes. He questions. He does not demand that the universe answer him. The most dangerous force in the ocean was never the whale. It was the human need to conquer what cannot be controlled. On its surface, Moby-Dick is a story about a ship hunting a whale. Beneath that surface, it is a meditation on fate, free will, obsession, and the limits of human understanding. What happens when ambition becomes fixation? When leadership becomes tyranny? When the desire for meaning turns into the refusal to accept uncertainty? Ahab believes he is fighting evil. But he may be fighting the silence of the universe itself. And the ocean does not answer. It simply remains vast.